Hi, welcome to my weekly vlog where I share with you the behind the scenes of growing a business. I'm Shelly Shulman. I am an online business and tech expert. And in December of last year, I quit my full-time job with no plan other than knowing that I was going to go back to self-employment. And this is me bringing you on the journey with me as I grow my business. Okay, so one of the things that I wanted to make sure that I did with this vlog is to be really open and honest and transparent. And so with that in mind, I'm going to say that this is about the 50th time today that I have sat down to try and record this vlog. Because I woke up this morning knowing that I had to record it, and I like recording this every week. I've got into a really good routine. I've got up, I've had a bath, I've washed my hair, it's all fresh. And then all of a sudden, my mental health flipped like that. My husband asked me a load of questions. My children were breathing. And for some reason, my stress levels went through the roof. And if you've followed me for a very, very long time, you will know that I live with bipolar. And I want to be open about that discussion and open about that journey, because sometimes we can start a day full of the best intentions, and sometimes stuff just doesn't go to plan. And I sat and I struggled and I tried to push through. I tried to tell you about my goals for the month and I just couldn't do it. And actually now I've been able to get this out because, as I say, in the interest of this vlog, I wanted to be open and honest and transparent. And I want you to know that sometimes stuff just doesn't go the way that you want it to. Now, I can't tell you why I'm in a bad mood today. Like I say, my mood's just changed. Maybe it's the weather, maybe it's something in the air, and maybe I'm a little bit paranoid that I felt like if I pushed through with doing this, people would be able to read my aura or whatever else and know that I wasn't being 100% truthful. And so I want to start this vlog with that in mind. I don't want to go into a big mental health lecture, but I just want to say it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to have bad days, and it's okay to not push through when you feel like you need to push through. Sometimes it's okay to take a step away. And that is exactly what I did with recording this vlog. I went and took a step away. I went and had a cup of tea. I went and got myself some space. And now I have come back with it. And I've come back to it with a fresh mind, knowing that I was going to be open and honest. And I feel so much better for that. So that's my lesson for this week, really, just for you to bear that in mind. But I would like to talk to you about my goals and how I have progressed over the last week, because ultimately that is what this vlog is about. But I just wanted to add that little bit of honesty in there for you as well. So here we are. We have reached the last week of January. Maybe that's why I'm in a bad mood, because January is about 4,000 weeks long. But we finally made it. We reached the last week of January. And for me, I always like the last week of the month because it's really easy to set your goals for the last week of the month, because they're pretty much the goals that you set yourself at the beginning of the month. You just need to know. So my goal at the beginning of the month was to make £5,000. So this week, I just need to make sure that I hit that £5,000. So there is a certain ease with it. And there is a certain excitement, I think, that the last week of the month brings, because it really does give you that kick to go, right, where am I? Am I going to achieve this before the month ends? That's certainly how my brain works. So if we look at my goals, my goal this month was to earn a minimum of £5,000. Now, I did touch on last week that with what I had invoiced, I was just shy of £5,000. So technically, I hit my goal. Now, I did find out this week that one of those invoices wouldn't actually be paid until February. So with that in mind, I haven't actually hit my goal. And it made me think about how are we actually tracking these goals. And so for me, going forward, when I'm talking about monetary goals, I am talking, and what I have taken, I am going to be talking about cash in the bank rather than what I have invoiced. Because let's be honest about it, I can't pay the bills with an invoice. I need to pay the bills. We all need to pay the bills with cash in the bank. And I think it's really important that we have those conversations when it comes to things about money and goals. Because, for example, we often see people say, oh, I've had £100,000 launch. And for some people in the online space, they think, oh, that's great. They've just made £100,000 and £100,000 has gone into their bank. But that's not necessarily the case. So it could be, for example, that they were selling a course for £1,000 and 100 people signed up for that course. So yes, that is £100,000 launch. However, what people don't tend to break down is that some of those people might have paid monthly for that course. So actually they haven't had £100,000 in their bank straight away. So let's start being a bit more open about these so that people can understand what we're actually talking about. So if we are actually talking about cash in the bank, I have taken £2,400 cash in the bank. Now I've still got invoices that are outstanding, but what I have done this week is gone, right, well, I want to make another £2,600 cash in the bank. So let's get real clarity on where we are going with these goals. What is it that we are actually going to track? And whatever it is that you choose, if you want to choose to track invoices, that is absolutely fine. But just make sure that you are consistent throughout the year. So that's where I am with my money goal. And if the invoices that I've got outstanding do pay me before the end of January, I will hit my goal. But I just want to make sure that I'm clear as to where I'm going. And then with the rest of the goals, it's been interesting because where I have tracked progress each week, have I achieved the rest of my goals? Other than my YouTube one, no, I haven't. But what I have noticed is as each week has gone on, the achievement has gone up. So, for example, I wanted to grow my email list this month to 833 because I wanted 10,000. I think I wanted 10,000 on my email list at the beginning of the year. Divide that by 12. That meant that this month I needed to get 833. I'm at 88. But what has happened is, so for example, the first week, 12 people joined my email list. The next week, another 24 joined my email list. You might find the next week, 36 people join your email list. So when you start showing up and you start being consistent, the actual growth is increasing week on week. So whilst you may not actually achieve your goal, you may find that the growth is increasing. And so what you will find from that is, because we take this 10,000 email subscribers, we just divide it by 12. So basically what we're saying is we want to be consistent each month and grow our email list by 833. But what we will find is that actually in the first month, we don't get anywhere near that 833. But as we are being more consistent with our actions and that progress starts to speed up, when we get halfway through the year, 833 subscribers a month actually is a drop in the ocean. So we will be finding that it speeds up a lot more. And the same goes for your Instagram, your TikTok, and whatever else you are tracking, particularly when it comes down to social media. You will see that persistent action is what pays off. And so as I've become more consistent with things, stuff has started to grow. Now, I did achieve my YouTube goal of 500 subscribers. That was what I wanted to achieve for the month, and I'm already at 501. Now, the good thing for that is that means that I can now monetize my YouTube. So whilst I will still track the subscribers because I wanted 1,000, I am now going to start to track the views. The views is really important because you need, I think it's 3,000 hours worth of views each month. I need to double check that. Don't quote me on that, to then start to get monetized. So it then means that I can put my focus into other places. So as I head into the last week of the month, I am really excited. As I say, I've seen that growth speed up, and what you will find happens is that because people aren't growing as quick as they want at the beginning, they give up. You need to have that patience as you go through your journey to stay with it. Because sometimes, and we often see this depicted by that little picture of, I think there's two men digging for gold or diamonds, and you see one person walking away and they're just that close to achieving what they want to achieve, when you see the other person who keeps going actually reach the diamonds. And so don't quit. If stuff isn't going your way, don't quit with what you are doing. Persevere. It's really, really important. And for those that, I've got two children. I say children, they're 24 and 21, they're grown-ups now. But when they were at school, we would tell them to persevere. We would tell them to keep going. We would tell them to keep trying. And that is what we need to tell ourselves as business owners. We wouldn't let our children quit. We'd say to them, keep going, let's keep doing this. So we need to cheerlead ourselves in the same way as we cheerlead our children when they are learning something. But it has been a fun week for me. I was part of a summit, so my visibility has increased. That's also why I've seen some of that growth. My visibility has started to increase. I did a session for one of my clients. They wanted me to do a session teaching about Kartra, so I was able to do that. And off of the back of that, I've had more inquiries about how to work with me. So it goes to show just where that consistency pays off. And you need to be tenacious and you need to be persistent. And that's my learnings for the week. Like I say, be kind to yourself. If you are having an off day, it's okay. Take that break away, go and step away, go and do something else, come back to what you are doing, because sometimes if you're forcing yourself to try and do something, it's not going to work. But I will see you next week, because next week is going to be quite exciting, because it will be the last week of the month, so we will be able to see if we achieve those goals. And we will be able to look back on whether or not some of the goals we've set ourselves, are they actually too big, or is it just a case if we need to be more persistent? And so I will see you next week. Bye.